Hello everyone, it's me, RoboMarioBros, and today I'm doing something different. So I got like 400 something videos out, and I feel like there's a lot of lore that I've built up in the past couple years. So today I'm going to try to attempt to explain it all in one video. I don't want this video to be an hour long, so I'm just going to go over the main points and things. So if you're wondering why I'm not talking about something like Down and Piranha singing old 80s songs, then it's probably not important. Or I forgot. Without further ado, let's go. My bad, that was cringe. It sounded better on paper, I swear. In the beginning, there was nothing. And then God said, "Let there be light." Okay, now that we've addressed that, we can continue. So probably like 500 years ago or something, there was a war between sorcerers and monsters. The leader of the monsters' names was Mewtwo, and he was pretty bad. He was leading the monsters to believe humans were bad. This is because he was created just to fight for the entertainment of humans, or whatever his lore is. I kind of forgot. Long story short, he didn't want to be a subject for humans, and he wanted to be his own person, so he started the war. Anyway, the sorcerers got a wand called the Wand of Ruins, and were able to lock him in it. With now no one leading the monsters, the sorcerers had won. So the monsters were just kind of there now, and they didn't really do much. Yeah, they're also known as Pokemon now. Although one of the sorcerers, a witch, well, I guess she liked the war, because she created another monster after the war. But this monster the witch created wasn't like the other monsters. This monster was almost as powerful as Mewtwo and caused havoc across the whole world. But then the sorcerers locked in and defeated the monsters for the second time now. And as for the monster the witch created, well, he was locked up in a realm created by the sorcerers. This monster would later become Giggles, the weird old lady girl. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Alright, so maybe like a lot of years later, someone bought Mario's current house, and well, one day they went to go check the mail, and the monster who was banished to that realm was able to use a wand. Don't ask me how he got the wand, he just had it, I guess. He was able to use the wand and gain enough power to open up a portal in the mailbox. So when that person went to go check the mail, they got abducted by the monster. Skill issue if you ask me. The monster then ate them to gain power and would do this over the next couple years. Many people bought this house and were abducted by the monster. Then the monster realized it wasn't giving much power. Basically, the monster wants to escape, but he needs a strong body too. Eventually, he took over an old lady's body. Yes, this old lady. And using the old lady's knowledge of the real world, he was able to create the dimension he was in to look identical to it. And now we'll finish the story later. Now, let's talk kids. No, Drake, you're not involved in this. Alright, so sometime in some place, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser were all born around the same time. Mario and Luigi were born on the same day being twins, and Peach and Bowser were born on the same day. Alright, skip a few years. In 1993, Bowser Sr. went ahead and crowned his son, Bowser Jr., no, not this Bowser Jr., this Bowser Jr., the Prince of Koopas. Around the same time, the King of the Mushroom Kingdom declared his daughter the Princess of the Mushroom Kingdom, and hired a trusty toad named Toadsworth to watch over her when he passed. Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi are babies, and are currently in school being bullied by Little Woody, otherwise known as George. Luigi gets his pants pulled down, and that lives rent-free in his head till this day. Meanwhile, Bowser's father, Bowser Sr., is very sick, and Bowser wants to make his father proud. So he attempts to kidnap the Princess of the Mushroom Kingdom, which he does successfully, but on his way back, Mario and Luigi stop him, with Mario doing most of the work and Mario getting him ill. And Luigi gets a pat on the back, because he didn't really do anything. They are now known as the coolest kids in school, and without a doubt, Toadsworth offers them a job to help out with making sure the princess is safe. So Mario and Luigi go off to the castle to protect and serve. Now with no one for little Woody to bully, he tries to find someone new, and finds Felipe. But Felipe is just too cool to be bullied, so they become friends. Anyway, Felipe is having a birthday party, so he invites everyone in the class, including two important people, Flint and Froggy. They're pretty good friends and really only got each other. Anyway, they kinda lame, so they get bullied by Felipe and Lil Woody, and a bunch of girls and are forced out the party. Froggy just calls it quits and accepts that he's lame, and falls into a life of crime, which in the future he would end up kidnapping kids and selling them because of his hatred for them. As for Flint, he fell into magic, becoming a sorcerer. His grandparents were sorcerers, so he was drawn in from a young age. He asked his grandparents to teach him sorcery, and well, they did. His father, Chris the Lumberjack, is also important later, tries to find out what's going on, but can't seem to find out what's wrong with him. Little does he know, Flint is becoming the next Dumbledore. Flint then uses dark magic on Little Woody and Felipe and ends up real hurt. He is seen doing this and immediately is known as the Wizard Kid. His parents try to help, but Flint doesn't care at this point. He has the whole world against him. He then does another spell on Little Woody and Felipe, which makes them stuck as kids forever. This is what gets the King's attention, and he immediately sends guards after this kid. Flint proceeds to run from home, but when he was found, he was sent to prison outside of the Mushroom Kingdom. Although he didn't stay long, as he casted a spell so powerful that he killed 29 cops and 12 prisoners. And he escaped. Now his family wanted no part of this, and they disowned him as fast as they possibly could. So now Flint had really nowhere to hide. He tried to dye his hair black, but that didn't really work out. And that's when he found Mario and Luigi. They hid him at his house for a while, obviously without Mario and Luigi's parents knowing, but at some point he had to leave. He was able to get what he needed for the time, such as food and shelter, but they told him he had to go. So after a while, Flint left and journeyed on his own. Now let's talk about the real deal. In 1939, a toad by the name of Adolf Hitler. For years, the government of the Mushroom Kingdom and Leaf Kingdom started testing on animals and Yoshis. They would inject them with highly intelligent chemicals, and this made the animals and Yoshis aware of their surroundings. This made them have voices and everything, so now they were just like humans. Thought they were heroes by doing this, but it really kind of messed up the whole ecosystem, because now there's animals who talk and animals who don't talk. So basically, when you eat a cow, for all you know, that thing could have had a whole identity and y'all just killed them. Well, the Bean Kingdom was not a fan of this, and they started arguing with the Mushroom Kingdom. Now, the Leaf Kingdom decided to give some of their land to the animals that they tested on, and they called it Animal Kingdom. But the Mushroom Kingdom wasn't as sweet as them. So the Mushroom and Bean Kingdom just kept arguing about more and more things, and eventually, it broke out into a war between the Mushroom Kingdom and the Bean Kingdom. This war would be titled the Battle of 99, because it took place in 1999. Pretty self-explanatory. During the war, the stud Bowser was getting around, and so came along his first son, Frost. Now Bowser kinda didn't want him, so he abandoned him. By the way, just want to make it clear quickly, I said abandoned him. I felt like I didn't say it clear enough, so I just thought I'd state it now. Continue with the video. And also during the war, a very important thing happened. Salty, aka Yoshi's dad, and Toad's dad fought in this war. When the Mushroom Kingdom realized that they were going to lose this war, they just resorted to killing innocent Bean lives. And unfortunately, Yoshi and Toad's dad got the short end of the stick because they killed the parents of a psychopath. Fawful had his parents killed in front of his eyes, which sparked his hatred for the Mushroom Kingdom, which will be very important later. Anyway, Mushroom Kingdom won the war because they built like that, and the Bean Kingdom just went back to living normally. Now that the war was over, everyone was back to living normal. But the king was tired. He felt as if he would die soon. The next day he died. Alright, now for another time jump. Yeah, so remember Yoshi's dad Salty and Toad's dad? Well, Yoshi's dad has a best friend who is a Toadette, and they dated for a while, but the Toadette realized that they were better off as just friends. Salty still had feelings, but oh well, you snooze, you lose. Toad's dad, which is Salty's best friend, ends up with this Toadette, and this Toadette ends up being Toad's mother. Salty was always kind of salty about this, but was able to move on and find a Yoshi, which would become Yoshi's mom. I couldn't find a picture of two Yoshis in love, so I just pretend Birdo is a Yoshi. Also, don't mind the flag. Now, probably late 2000s or early 2010s, Mario and Luigi became real well known, and they had saved the princess countless of times. They were declared heroes of the Mushroom Kingdom. Meanwhile, Bowser started to get jealous of Mario and Luigi and sparked a hatred for them. Bowser then claimed his dad's army of minions, becoming the King of Koopas. And remember his son Frost? Yeah, well, he would try to join Bowser's army every chance he could, but Bowser wouldn't let him. Bowser had many successful kidnappings, and he thought if he married the princess, he could rule the Mushroom Kingdom and prove himself finally worthy as he failed 2 years ago. But Mario and Luigi would always save the day. A couple more years went on and Bowser grew colder and colder with a bigger army and more evil intentions each year. Around this time, he found the Koopalings and hired them to help out. Most of them were pretty young at the time, so they couldn't really do much, but Ludwig, the oldest, was definitely the third in command and called a lot of the shots. Yep, that's a shot. And in 2016, on March 24th, Bowser Jr. was born. Who is his mother, you ask? I don't know, ask Nintendo. By the way, we should probably skip back a year quickly and just mention Toad was born on September 30th, 2015, and Yoshi and his sister Spring were born on June 16th, 2015. Oh, and Boom Boom was born February 26th, 2014, and Pom Pom was born April 27th, 2017. As for the Koopalings, yeah, I'm not naming all 7, but if you're curious, here they are. Sometime around Junior's birth, Bowser, Mario, and Luigi would go at it one last time. After this, they would agree to take a break, and when they come back, they will all be stronger, and they'll fight again, I guess. I don't really know. So they all agree on a truce until Bowser attacks the kingdom again. And while you think they get stronger like they said, they do the complete opposite and become weaker, and Bowser becomes fat and pathetic. Before that, Frost makes it another visit to Bowser, trying to impress him this time with ice powers, but Bowser doesn't care. Then Frost sees Bowser has a son, and he destroys the whole castle, killing almost all of Bowser's minions. Frost couldn't believe that Bowser would take care of Junior, but not him. Bowser shoots Frost, but his ice-cold skull saves him. Alright, now that's mostly it for now. Now we're almost at the actual start of the channel. Just one more thing we gotta talk about first, and that's before the first video. 2018 was a special year, and a lot happens here. There's also a lot of plot holes, and there's one major one that I'm going to try to explain, so yeah, let's just get right into this. Ludwig finds out how to open portals to different universes, so he goes into another universe, but this universe he goes to is actually a secret place called the Illuminati that watches over all the other universes. They catch him and try to chase him down to brainwash him, but Ludwig is able to escape. Unfortunately, he drags the Kooplings into this, and now they're all on the run. They all escape to a different universe, but the Illuminati is still searching for them as they don't want this information to be spread. Bowser wakes up to find no Kooplings with him, and he tells Kamek to leave and go find them, and he can't return until he at least brings one. Ludwig half brainwashes the Kooplings, so they won't remember exactly everything until they're all united together again. And they all head on the run. Meanwhile, Boom Boom and Pom Pom's parents go do some business things, but they never return, leaving Boom Boom and Pom Pom homeless. Now, Fawful is an adult, and he has a mysterious but evil brought-up, and he wants revenge. He wants to see the Mushroom Kingdom burn, and wants to send it into war. So he disguises himself as a green toad and begins to cause havoc. He hired Froggy to kidnap Luigi, and once Luigi is kidnapped, Fawful then makes Luigi stupid. That way Luigi can't help Mario on this one-horse open sleigh adventure that he's about to go on. Mario then buys a house, and this was a pretty big deal at the time, because, well, most of the time they would just sleep at the castle. So Felipe, the kid from earlier, became a news reporter and went to Mario's house to go get a house tour. Well, remember Flint? Yeah, he's now an adult, and he shows up to congratulate them, but is beat up instead. Mario felt threatened, I guess, that this random dude walked up to him. I mean, he probably thought it was a fan or something, and then Felipe also started chanting to beat him up, so they can get some attention for their news channel. Yeah. Now here's the major plot hole. When the house tour situation is happening, Luigi is able to talk, but he shouldn't be, because right before this he was kidnapped and made dumb. So let's just pretend that he doesn't even exist in the interview scene, and it's just Mario, Flint, and Felipe. Glad we can clear that up. Princess Peach decides to go on a long vacation, and Fawful convinces Bowser that he's soft and he should try to take over the kingdom again. Bowser immediately gets to work. Now back to Salty for a second. His wife died. Skills. So he resorts to alcohol and begins to drink. A lot. Yoshi and Spring, his two kids, are only 3 and don't really know much what's going on. One day, while Fawful's trying to figure out how to hurt the kingdom next, he sees Salty. He immediately recognizes him and realizes it might be the same Yoshi that killed his parents. So Fawful runs up and asks a lot about him, and well, because Salty's drunk, he pretty much gives him his whole life story, and it is very clear that he thinks Toad's dad stole Toad's mom from him. Now Fawful knows for a fact it's him, and puts rage shrooms in his alcohol, and tells Salty to go confront Toad's dad about this. By the way, I keep calling him Toad's dad because I don't actually have a name for him. So Salty goes to Toad's dad's house, and things get heated quick. Long story short, the rage mushrooms kick in, and Salty kills Toad's parents. Toad is probably around 3 years old right now, so he runs out the house. Salty gets home and throws a tantrum, and tries to shoot himself, sending Yoshi and Spring out the house as well. Spring is found by police and brought back to Salty, but Yoshi isn't found. Toad and Yoshi eventually find each other and go into a stranger's home. Couldn't find a photo of Yoshi and Toad together somehow, so just pretend Junior isn't here. This stranger ends up being Mario, and Mario takes them in because, well, he has no one living with him at the moment. Nowadays, he has a whole universe living with him. And then finally, Bowser attacks, which leads us into Mario's Adventure Episode 1, my very first YouTube video. With that all being said, that's it. That's everything explained. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Try my best with the editing and all. And, yeah, I'll see you guys later.